All right, so welcome to another no bullshit review, so you can avoid buying crap like this. So we're going to talk about Bass Engine 2, the low-end solution from Dope Sonix. So I got a tiny track. I'm just going to show you. Most of the times I like to do an introduction to the interface and things like that. But this plugin is so bad. I'm just going to skip it. I'm going to go and play something. So the bass is going to be, so that's the bass. I didn't even bother to put a good track or, to use something that sounds much better because it just makes no sense. So I'm just going to go and just show you what this does. So right here at the bottom, you get all the patches right here. You can move forward and go back, and I'm going to play it and try to find something I like. So you get that blinking when you navigate through the patches, which is weird. All right, so let's say I like that one, right? I'm going to go back and play it again. All right, so yeah, it's good. Okay. So, well, you can navigate through the patches going with this back and forward. And when you go through the patches, it will tell you right here what is the vibe of that sound. Now, okay, so let's say I want to do a little bit of filtering. So I'm going to go and play it and start doing the filtering. Now, by default, you don't get nothing because it's disabled. Now, if I think about this and say, okay, so, I want to enable, there's no enable. So it's going to be right here at the bottom. You get the filter type. Now, when you open this right here, you're going to get none, low pass, or high pass. Now, if we think about this, sometimes you just, do want to do a little bit more. So you just get low or high pass. That's it. And, that's the only option you get. So I'm going to do, I don't know, a low pass, whatever. So I'm going to go play it. It's a filter. Nothing special about it. No saturation or nothing. It's just, a common filter, which is okay, right? Let's assume that this is okay. Then you get, of course, the voice control, poly on legato or mono. Of course, this is a bass, so what do you need poly? So then, okay, you say, all right, so I'm gonna modify the volume. So if I go and just modify the volume, of course that works. You can go a little bit higher. But the thing is that right here, you get an indication of 0 to 10 on the volume, right? Okay. So let's say I want to go back to the original one, to the default one. If I double click, doesn't happen. Let me try shift click, control click, alt click, command click, double click. So it cannot even do that. It cannot go to default. It just cannot go to do that. It will not respond to any of those commands that any other plugin has. And this is not just with the volume, it's just with any knob. So, maybe with volume, this, doesn't bother you. But maybe if you go to pitch, you change the pitch, it gives you no indication of how much you're doing is from minus 1 octave down, 1 octave up, and that's it. But, there's no in between, there's no sense, there's no anything. Of course, this is not a synthesizer, so, that's okay. But let's say I want to go back to 0. There's no double click, there's no control click, there's nothing that goes back to default. So, well, then you have the pan controls, same problem. If you go to the left, you cannot go back to the original. You get an indication of left or right, but, not an indication of how much output you're doing if you're playing with the volume. Same thing with the glide control. So, all right. So right now, I would love to go to default so I can go and show you a different patch, but I need to go and do everything, manual. Everything manual. And that sucks. All right. So let's say that all of these things, this doesn't bother you, all right? So, okay, so at least we get an ADSR control. So I'm going to go and play it again and go to, I don't know, something else. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, I would like a little bit more attack. It does nothing. I'm going to go a little bit of decay. It does nothing. If I go maybe another one, it does nothing again. So the only thing that works is the sustain control that goes almost all the way down in volume and a little bit up. That's it. The release, pretty bad. Does almost nothing. So it's the ADSRs are just almost unusable. Now, let's assume that you're okay with all of this again, right? I don't care. I just like how it sounds. I don't care the controls. I'm just going to put a bass and, go through the patches and have some fun. All right. So let's, of course, if we go through the patches, we play it. And let me just go up in volume. We get some good sounds. So it doesn't sound bad. It just sounds good, right? So you get a lot of options. You get a lot of sounds. Now, let's say you want to go through the patches and just check what you get. This is the patch view. So yeah, you get a lot, but there is no kind of a order. So you cannot go and try to easily go and find something. You need to go and say, okay, I want an 808. I'm going to go and, go through the list. And I don't know, man, this is just not good. Just not a good plugin. This is very hard to use, super hard to use. And on top of that, let's say that you just managed to get a sound that you really like, right? And you're going to say, okay, so I really like this. I would love to store this. There are no user patches. There's no logic like this. So, just using this plugin the first time I use this, it says, okay, so it sounds good, but everything else is just unusable. So I did a little bit of digging, and I went to the application where the web. So and tried to check if I can find the developer's web page. This is it. This is the developer web page, and it looks like a WordPress. I'm a software engineer as well and a web developer. So this is like the worst presentation for a company that wants to do something. And this base engine is the version number 2. So I cannot really imagine how the version number 1 was. Now, again, if I say, okay, so, how expensive is this plugin? I'm going to go to Plugin Boutique, and it's $74. Goddamn. So, no, dude, this is just a big no. I would buy this for $10. And if you notice, maybe you didn't, I own the original license. I have a license. Why? Because I bought a bundle, and this came on that bundle. That's the only way you should be getting this, because it's pending like $74. And if you go to the actual webpage, their webpage, it says $80. So it's just weird, man. It's just weird. $80. It's expensive right here. A little bit cheaper. I would buy this for $15 or maybe less, right? Just that. So what do I like about this plugin? Well, it has usable sounds. It doesn't sound bad. I don't know. Maybe for $70, no, that's not that good. Now, what is the shit about this? What I don't like is a ugly interface. It looks like it was released when Windows 95 was released. Yeah, limited controls, very limited controls and features, confusing navigation, and again, the price is $80 or $74. So no, man, don't buy this plugin. Maybe you love this plugin, you're gonna hate me, or maybe the developer is gonna hate me. But I'm a developer too, right? I'm an engineer too. And just watching their webpage, you can guess what the plugin is. The attention, detail, and care they provided to this is the lack of attention and detail they provided to the plugin. I don't like to shit on other people's work because, again, I'm a software engineer and developer. I know how the amount of work that this takes, the development of a software. But this is just not good, man. Just lack of attention and detail. Just not a good software.